Right. Welcome to the second episode of Code Talk for the for the ah, for the people demo. There we go. So after taking some time to last time to figure out where exactly I need to go and setting stuff up for working with this specific website, I have gotten started. Specifically with starting with ideas. The main one is lore incomplete, which you just saw right there, and we're done with that. Yeah, that's to designate countries that have not finished with the lore or any specifics. After that, I took a look at the focus tree stuff, and yeah, I basically got initial stuff in. Yeah, about half the stuff you see here is definitely to do later. Yeah. After looking around at some stuff, yeah, I probably should actually finish the ideologies. So I've went ahead and did that. At the very least, figured out colors that I want to use, as well as any sub-ideologies beyond the initial. Additionally, I decided for specifically how to show the different socialist ideologies. I decided to use three. First, there's anarchism, which is for, yeah, immediately trying to go to a stateless society, or at least almost stateless. Then there's vanguardism, which is to show certain things like Marxist-Leninism, who want to use a state and political party vanguard, and then the rest that don't use vanguardism as part of their main point. I called it socialism. Anyway, after that, after I finally got done with all that, I decided to get started on working for the national spirits of Germany, which is the playable country of the demo. So, for the most part, I've looked at writing down the lore and trying to figure out specific things. For example, um, the effects, which took some time to figure out what exactly they mean. Additionally, at this point, I've also committed to writing down more of the lore. For example, the previous one was Myth of Betrayal. Similar to what happened to OTL, or our timeline, just slightly more powerful because the current government is also endorsing it, because the target is not the civilian government, instead it was the revolutionaries, which happened very similar to what happened in our timeline, but it's more stronger because, well, the main turning point, is that what it's called? The main divergence between our timeline is the fact that the SPD, due to its pacifism, was thrown out of the Reichstag, the parliament. As a result, they radicalized fully and joined fully with the revolutionaries to try to establish a socialist democracy. This has many, many changes. One of the biggest being that well, what was left of the old German government and military did not believe they could defend themselves against the revolution, so they asked the Entente for help. As a result, the Treaty of Versailles was adjusted so that Germany would have to give more concessions, with one of them being that instead of a massive debt that Germany would have to pay off, it would end up taking about a century in reality. Instead, it was decided to have France look over the Rhineland for 20 years. This has severe impacts on the German economy as well, as over half the industry of Germany was concentrated on the Rhineland. Losing that was really, really bad. This also made it look like Germany was no longer a threat in general on the continent, so another side effect is that the old rivalry between France and Britain has come up again, which is why there's also British industrial aid in Germany. It not only helps their economy, it also makes it so that they actually stand a chance against France in order to try to reclaim what they lost, if they so choose to take that path. Additionally, another side effect is that the political party of Centrum, which was a Catholic regionalist party, in fact, it still is, it still exists, funny enough. It's one of the oldest parties in Germany. Yeah, so Centrum ended up becoming one of the largest parties with a very large amount of power. However, never a majority, just a plurality. As a result, they always rule, but only as part of a coalition. And what's really important is that over time they managed to piss off just about every party in parliament, except for one, which is the Nazi equivalent, called the Navos, because, and again, one of the side effects of the revised Treaty of Versailles is that Germany had to ban the SPD as well as any socialist parties. So combine that with the fact that the myth of betrayal ends up basically blaming everything on socialists, and, well, you basically have it so that the equivalent of the term communist in the United States. Pretty much banned word in politics. So, of course, they don't use National Socialist as their party name. Beyond that, I also did some more work with specifics in Germany, like the different party names. I did also go in and look at different parties that existed, because another effect is that the Kaiserreich actually still exists. However, yeah, I do need to specify something. While the Kaiser is still in power, the thing is he has zero power. He's just a figurehead. So it's basically a complete constitutional monarchy. Although there are still some monarchist elements around, and yeah. So after I was done with the ideas, I worked on more specifics pertaining to Germany. And after I felt like I was done with that for the moment, and still trying to figure out what exactly I was looking for, and what everything meant, and also picking the capital, I decided to go in and start setting up the countries that I wanted to do. At the very least, give specific ideas at the moment. I might figure out more. Again, lore's incomplete for everything but Germany, however, I can still give some specifics on certain things. Like, for example, I know for sure that there will be unique stuff, at least defining stuff, for France, the UK, the US, Russia, Tanatuva, Mongolia, and Ukraine. I also had the time to quickly do one of the ideas for France. Basically, something interesting about France is that they had very many syndicalist unions. In fact, that was the basis for why France is syndicalist in Kaiserreich. Due to certain reasons, they're still syndicalist. Anyway, so we're here at the end screen, so I guess I'll have to stop here. I'll see you again next time. Until then, bye.